Sup folks, StugeGG here at the first episode of a new series of the game Tomboys Need Love Too. So this is much more in the vein of Frisky Business than most of the other games I've uploaded before. So it is a visual novel with, we'll say, adult themes. It's not as comedic as Frisky Business is, but full disclosure, I've already played through the first hour. I was recording it, but it turns out the recording's corrupted, so I didn't actually get anything. Well, I have all the audio, but no video, which kind of makes for a bad YouTube video. So I'm going to replay through the first hour and progress from there. So I will have already seen a lot of this stuff, so I do kind of know what's coming for the first little bit. I'll say it does start a little bit slow, and then goes from 0 to 60 very quickly. I don't want to spoil too much of the story, but if you aren't interested in really getting the background of the characters and stuff like that, when the second episode comes out, you can skip straight to that one and like halfway through if you just want to get to the more saucy material, we'll call it. There is, I'll always point out, there is adult content. We're going to have it disabled for the sake of YouTube. I will have to censor some things anyway because I think they snuck a few things by Steam. And I'm kind of surprised, but that's okay. If you want to see everything in all its glory, by all means, go ahead and grab the game yourself. It's fresh on Steam. It just came out last week. It's a $10 game for what's only a couple hours of content. It's on sale for $9, but up to you if you kind of want to buy it or not. It looked hilarious with a name like Tomboys Need Love Too. I felt like I had to give it a shot. And Frisky Business was pretty successful on the channel, so we'll try this one. I will try to do voices, sort of. Mainly just change the intonation of my voice for different characters. But enough of that. Let's hop right in and see where it goes. So it's traditional visual novel style here where, you know, you've got to save, quick save, and you're just going through. There's no sound effects really as far as I can tell from what I've seen. There's music in the background obviously, but no voice acting, nothing. But as a narrator, I'll use my regular voice. For characters, I'll try to switch up just a little bit. As I finished getting dressed, I stood in front of my bedroom mirror and checked my appearance one last time. Staring back at me was an 18-year-old high school student dressed in a recently ironed school uniform and ready to go. Alright, looking good, Kai. So Kai's the main character, obviously. I took a step back from the mirror and straightened my tie once more. Still a little uncomfortable to be back in my school uniform again. Obviously set in Japan, as most visual novels are. Our semester break had just finished, so after weeks of lounging around the house all day, I was now being forced to attend school once more. Naturally, that meant putting on my uniform, walking to school, and cursing my existence until the final bell rang. Or at least that was how last semester went. I'll try to read pretty quickly. If I mess things up, I apologize. I'll usually go back and fix it. I can't believe it. It's already my final semester of high school. In just a few months, I'll be done with school, and it'll be time to enter college or to find a job. Think about it like that. I can't afford to mindlessly trudge this semester like I did the last. This is my final chance to take action and to do what I've put off for so long. This semester for sure I'm going to work up my courage and ask Sophie out. I'll devote more time to my studies, spend my weekends going on dates, and live the fulfilling high school life I've always dreamed of. Him and every other high school senior. With time to reflect on my actions during first semester, I come up with a few goals for myself before high school ended. 1. Improve my grades. I'd only just barely passed most of my exams so far this year, and although I hadn't yet reached the point where I might have to repeat a grade, I was indeed doing very poorly. 2. Make new friends. Though I was certainly more interested in socializing than studying, the fact was that I had only had a couple friends. In fact, over the entire break I only spoke to and met with one of them. None of my other friends even came to mind. That would need to change. I couldn't just keep on clinging to my best friend forever. This semester I would need to make new friends and to treat them better than those before them. Number 3. Find myself a girlfriend. I both shivered and smirked as this goal of mine came to mind. As an 18-year-old boy with no romantic experience whatsoever, the world of dating and romance seemed like one I would never be a part of. But even if I was currently just an observer of that fantastic world, I too had someone I liked. She wasn't the first girl I'd developed a crush on, but Sophie was by far the most attractive and amiable person I had ever met. If I started dating her, or even managed to just become her friend, I could die happy. With my school uniform on and my personal goals reaffirmed, I headed downstairs towards the kitchen. Waiting for me were my mother, who had just made breakfast, and one unexpected guest. "Good morning, Kai." "Morning, Mom." And I turned towards our guest. "Chris?" Oh, morning, Kai." So it's not a very good female voice, but she's a tomboy, so we can go with that. Obviously, this is the tomboy, the titular character. Titular is gonna have multiple meanings in this game. Putting her fork down for a minute, Chris smiled and greeted me. You're here early this morning. Did you wet the bed, or were you drawn here by the smell of food? How rude. I come over to visit, and that's the first thing you say to me? Maybe I'll just take my breakfast and go. Yeah, you go do that. I sighed and turned to my mother. Speaking of which, what's for breakfast? That's a silly question. You're looking right at it. Not doing a voice for the mom. Mom pointed to the plate in front of Chris. No, I didn't mean it like that. What I'm asking is, where's mine? Without saying a word, my mother once again pointed to the plate in front of Chris. You gave her my breakfast? Well, I figured you weren't getting up anytime soon, so... Chris smiled up at me innocently with a piece of toast in her mouth. I should have known, you little... yoink. Ah! That's my exasperated sound. I grabbed the piece of toast from Chris's mouth and brought it to my own. I devoured it in a heartbeat before she could try to take it back. I'd already started eating that. Yeah, and I finished eating it. It's my breakfast, you know. I don't know what to do with that. What? Chris cast her gaze downward as her face became red. No, seriously, what is it? Kya! An indirect kiss first thing in the morning. Maybe I should let Chris wake you up after all. Who knows what might have happened? Foo. I don't know what you're supposed to make there. I don't know. I should know more about that. I've read animes. That's a joke. I've watched anime. I've not really read manga or anything, or manga, however you say it. I actually minored it in Japanese in college, but I can't really read it or say it anymore. But off track. I can't get married anymore. My body has been tainted. No, I'm the one who ate it last. If anyone is tainted, it's me. Anyway, would you two knock it off already? It's too early for this kind of teasing. I need to leave for school soon. I don't have time to play around with you. Oh my, when did you become such a serious student? I know, right? Kai, your grades are even worse than mine. It's a little late to be playing the diligent student now. It's precisely because my grades are bad that I'm taking school seriously from now on. And to that end, I grabbed the plate from in front of Chris and consumed what was left of my breakfast. I started eating that too. Kya, Kai's gonna get pregnant. So the mother, very bad mother. Very bad. Come on, what is she doing with her life? Oh, be quiet, both of you. But obviously from the facial expressions and the blushing, your best friend Chris most likely has feelings for you, but we'll find out more about that shortly. Once we escaped from my mother's bizarre influence, Chris and I returned to our usual selves. We walked down the road to school while chatting mindlessly, filling in the few minutes in a simple yet pleasant manner. Man, I can't believe the semester break is over already. It feels like we only just left school. Do we really have to return already? Amazing, the diligent student has disappeared already. What happened to taking school seriously from now on? I am going to take our schoolwork seriously, but that doesn't mean I have to enjoy it. You're bummed too, right? Any student would mourn the end of their break. Not really. I don't particularly care either way. So, I'm sorry, my voice for her is terrible, but put up with it. I can't. There's a couple female characters. I'll try to do a real female voice for one of them. Are you serious? Of course. I mean, it's not like anything exciting happened over the break anyway. In fact, all you did was sleep and play video games. Don't pretend like you weren't doing the exact same thing. I did other stuff too. Oh yeah, like what? Visiting friends? You just sat on my bed and demanded that I play a 2-player game. Fine, I get your point. I'm no better. But unlike you, I actually enjoy going to school. Since when? Since we were put in the same class yet again. Since we started high school, Chris and I had been in the same class every single year. What's more, we went to the same elementary school and we were in the same class for several of those years too. To top it all off, we'd been next door neighbors since we were born, and we were only a couple weeks apart in age. One way or another, fate continued to pair us together, and surely enough, this year was no different. I guess I'd better start showing more enthusiasm as well. I can't let myself feel down on my first day back is what it's supposed to say. I can't let myself feel down on my first day back. Like I said, starting today, I'm going to be a diligent student. My grades will improve, I'll start waking up earlier, going to sleep at a sensible hour, and return to normal after a week. Most likely, yes. At least you know your limitations. Really, you try this after every break. Just give up already and enjoy the ride. Hey now, isn't that a bit irresponsible? I may not be great at studying, but that's no reason to just throw in the towel. Sure it is. You're not planning on getting an academic job anyway, right? You really want to do something productive with your time? Focus on figuring out what you want to do when you leave school. Oh, come on. Like I have any idea about that. And that's precisely why you should be thinking about it. Most of our classmates have some idea of what they want to do when they finish school. It's only natural, considering what's yet to come. I guess. Have you given it any thought, Chris? Me? I don't know. I was thinking about becoming a policewoman, but the world's become a pretty dangerous place lately. Maybe a fitness instructor? Yeah, right. Just because you play sport now and then doesn't mean you're some kind of fitness guru. When's the last time you even went to the gym? I still go there sometimes. I just don't like being stared at. Now I know you're lying. Trust me, when you're at the gym, no one is staring at you. Like you'd know. All you ever do is play video games and cry about how Sophie doesn't even know you exist. Hey, that's a low blow. But I'm right, aren't I? While I'm at the gym, toning this body of mine to perfection, you're at home wallowing in self-loathing. Perfect body, my ass. You have the proportions of an elementary school kid. I wouldn't be so sure about that. There are plenty of girls who look completely different without clothes on, you know? Maybe you're just too blind to see it. Chris grabbed the bottom of her skirt and began to flap it around, giving me glimpses of her toned thighs. Aha, such a beauty is right beside you, and all you're thinking about is that blonde girl with big tits. If you realized what you were overlooking, you'd forget about her in a heartbeat. Chris raised her skirt a little higher, exposing white skin, usually untouched by sunlight. What do you say? Want to take a look? Oh. Without realizing it, I became completely fixated on Chris's legs. With her hands inching higher, and the talk of Chris's naked body fresh in my mind, she had my complete attention. Just kidding. As quickly as she had begun to raise her skirt, Chris let go and continued walking. Sorry, Kai. There are a few more steps needed before you get to see my body. And the ring had better cost 3 months' salary, okay? Sorry, I'm laughing because of something I know that's coming up. I'm gonna ruin it, so I can't ruin it. Left with those parting words, I fell further behind as Chris ran through the school gates by herself. Before long, she had disappeared into the school building, leaving me in front of the gates with a bewildered expression on my face. Having arrived earlier than intended, I entered the classroom and sat down next to Chris as we waited for class to begin. Took you long enough? Maybe you really should be joining me down at the gym if that's how long it takes you to walk up the stairs. Well, excuse me for being lazy. So caught up with all your friends today? Irk. Chris's facial expression dropped at my provocation. Oh, that's right, I forgot. Your friends are all in other classes, aren't they? Or they don't exist. He's not that nice. Hey, you know that they're real. It's not my fault that my female friends are in different classes. True, but it is your fault that you haven't made any new friends since entering this class. Chris averted her eyes and looked out the window. I'm fine with the number of friends I have, thank you. Are you sure? I seem to remember an energetic young girl who was always going around asking people to be her friend. What was her name again? That was when I was a little kid. It's not as easy when you grow up. Sure it is. You make friends all the time during athletics carnivals and sports days, don't you? Yeah, but that's different. They're just random people who I talk to for the day. It's not like we exchange numbers or contact one another afterwards. Yeah, I guess you've got a point. Must be hard to have a lot of friends. I certainly wouldn't want that kind of pressure. Oh yeah, I'm sure that's why you only have one friend. Whatever. At least I've got other random people I talk to, right? Haha, well, aren't you lucky? While Chris and I both got along fairly well with others, neither one of us lived a particularly social life. We both talked to our classmates and even consider some of them friends, but those relationships were superficial at best. Personally, I only became friends with my classmates out of convenience, and to kill time chatting in class. Once high school ended, I doubted that I would speak to any of them ever again. That's actually a side note, that's kind of how I was in high school. I no longer talked to anyone I went to high school with, and even for the few years after high school, I only talked to a couple of them a few times, so, I mean, I kind of understand his thing there where got out of high school and just completely went about a different path on life, but at least as I was planning to. Still, I really have to admire people who can manage so many relationships at once. You mean sluts? I mean popular people. You know, people can be friends with everyone and never forget any of their names or hobbies. People like Sophie. So, sluts. Come on, Chris, why so mean? I've never heard you talk about anyone else like that. What do you have against Sophie? I don't particularly dislike her or anything. I just think you should be wary of her, that's all. In sync with Chris's warning, a few more people entered the classroom. At the head of the pack was Sophie, who descended upon our classroom like an angel sent from heaven. As she was about to pass by my desk, I tried speaking to her. Good after morning, Sophie. Lovely day for school, isn't it? Ha 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 ha. Okay, so. Good morning, Kai. That's so bad. Did you have an enjoyable break? Okay, we'll fix that. She doesn't talk much for the next bit, so hopefully I'll get something better. That was bad. Yes, absolutely. That's good to hear. Let's try our hardest again this semester, okay? I'm trying to do a higher voice, but it's like cracking. Of course, anything you say. Sophie giggled once more and placed her hand on my shoulder as she walked by. I could feel my face turning red as the warmth emanating from our point of contact spread throughout my body, lifting my spirit. She touched me. Sophie touched me. This is the greatest moment of my life. Now my voice for him's messed up. Now I'm doing Rodney Dangerfield. The heck's wrong with me? Smack. Ouch. Stop acting like a love-struck idiot. Scold me if you want, but I can't help it. A girl of my dreams knows my name, and she touched me on the shoulder. I'm never washing this arm again. The moment I said that, Chris narrowed her eyes and leaned over. Seated right next to me, her body collided with mine the moment she moved. Chris pressed her chest against my shoulder and hooked her arm around mine. Before I could ask what she was doing, Chris let go and returned to her original position. Chris? Shut up. I was just giving you a reason to wash your arm, that's all. Chris looked away with a displeased expression on her face. Excuse me. As she did, I stared at my shoulder. I'd been touched by both Sophie's delicate hand and Chris's soft chest, all in the span of 10 seconds. At that moment, I didn't know how to feel. Really, what's so great about that girl anyway? I bet you just like her because she has big boobs. Hey, I'm not that shallow. Sophie's a good person, okay? Everybody likes her. Are you trying to say you don't stare at her boobs every chance you get? I averted my gaze. I didn't say that. I knew it. Even if I do, what business is that of yours? Are you jealous that her chest has actually grown since elementary school, unlike yours? Very, very mean. My breasts aren't that small. Besides, who in the right mind would want a body like hers? Those things are just big, useless sacks of fat. In 20 years, they'll be all saggy with veins popping out and everything. Oi, don't destroy my fantasies like that. Whatever, small breasts are much better anyway. You don't get sore shoulders, you don't have to put up with the gazes of perverts, and they don't get in the way. Bras are cheaper and easier to find. Whatever, you're totally jealous. I'm just trying to make you understand the plight of women and to see why small breasts are clearly superior. Honestly, why do you care for like big breasts anyway? I don't! I just don't want you to become a sexual deviant who drools over big sacks of fat. You really think I'm gonna become a deviant just because I like big breasts? Just how little faith do you have in me? Before our conversation could grow any more heated, the bell signaling the start of class finally rang. Our teacher walked into the room, the class quieted down, and we began our first lesson of the new semester. It's finally over. Yeah, just 3 more of those to go and we get to go home. Ready to give up on playing the diligent student? It was only one boring lesson, they won't all be like that. That was the first lesson of the semester. The teacher was totally going easy on us. Face it, you're not cut out for studying. Yeah, I know. I somehow managed to survive the first class of the day, but not without difficulty. After playing video games all day, every day throughout the break, I wasn't prepared to suddenly be bombarded for an hour straight with information pertaining to topics I couldn't care less about. Although I managed to stay awake the entire lesson, my motivation was thoroughly crushed, with the finishing blow being a homework assignment due by the end of the week. Well, I'm not going to let this moment of freedom pass me by. Back in a bit. Chris quickly exited the classroom, seeking to take advantage of the 10-minute break before our next lesson. Maybe I should use this time wisely too. I could study for the lesson ahead, and maybe have some small chance of keeping up for a little while. Or I could eat some of my lunch now, since Chris ate half of my breakfast. While weighing up those 2 options in my head, I noticed someone walk over to my desk. Yo Kai, long time no see. Oh Dan, what's up my man? What's up man, not my man. Your hours in Dragon Hunter from what I saw. Did you do anything apart from play video games during the break? Don't ask stupid questions, what else would I do? I don't know, study? Don't even talk to me about studying right now. Okay. Your grades are that bad, huh? There are sea otters with higher grades than mine. Sea otters? What the hell kind of measurement system is that? Anyway, did you at least engage in some social activity over the break? Surely you spent some time chilling with your girlfriend, right? First it's studying, now you're mocking my inability to get a girlfriend? Talk about kicking a man when he's down. Your inability to... Dude, you're kidding, aren't you? It's one thing to be oblivious, but you're seriously going to make her cry the way you act. So everyone obviously thinks they're dating, Kai and Chris. But I think he's really stupid and doesn't fully understand it. She's obviously into him, but doesn't want to say anything. It's just typical Japanese high school problems, you know? Huh? What are you talking about? Forget it. I don't even know what she sees in you, I really don't. Oh hey, you can't just walk away after saying something like that. Come back here. Waving a single hand in the air, Dan continued to walk away. A girlfriend, yeah right. Who would want to date a lazy bum like me? I sighed as I thought back to the third goal that I gave myself. Before even trying, I'd already resigned myself to failure. How pathetic. What was that about? Oh, Chris, it was nothing important, just guy stuff. That's never stopped you from telling me before. I know way more about reviewer idols and swimsuit models than any girl my age should, thanks to you. I don't know how to pronounce that word properly. I'm sorry if anyone's really into that, and I don't know, but that's okay. Well, if you must know, we were talking about how this former idol's descent into pornography. Don't you dare finish that sentence. You weren't seriously talking about that crap during class, were you? That depends. If I say yes, are you going to give me a lecture on how pornography is degrading to women? No, I will tell everyone here about how you wet the bed until you were 8 years old. Please don't do that. I really wasn't talking about anything dirty. Glad to hear it. So what were you talking about? Whining about how your crush doesn't even know you exist? She does so. She even knows my name. It's kind of sad how desperately you denied that. Look, it wasn't about that anyway, okay? We were just catching up because we didn't see each other over the break. Yeah, right. You two were totally... Alright, class. Recess is over. Back to your seats. Before Chris could probe any further, our teacher walked in and interrupted her mid-sentence. Saved by the bell. Chris clicked her tongue while returning to her seat, and I silently breathed a sigh of relief. Honestly, I had no real reason to hide what Dan and I were talking about. It's nothing Chris hadn't heard before, nor did she get angry over it. Even so, for reasons unknown to me, I felt hesitant to tell Chris what Dan had said. Because they're talking about your relationship with her, you dum-dum. I'm going to make her cry, huh? I suppose it wouldn't be the first time. So like, half the time it seems like he's aware of things, half the time it doesn't. With less difficulty than I had feared, I made it through yet another lesson without falling asleep. Most of the information still went in one ear and out the other. At least this time around, I managed to take some notes before completely zoning out. Finally, time for lunch. Come on, Kai, open it. Open it. Yeah, I'm getting there. Why are you so excited about my lunch anyway? Don't you have your own food to eat? You know what they say, what's yours is mine and what's mine is also mine. That's not how that saying goes. Whatever, just open it already, I'm starving. With Chris hovering closer to me than usual, I pulled my lunchbox out of my backpack, opened it, and placed it on the table. Wah. Wah. I don't know what that sound is. Mom went all out today. Fried chicken, rice, cherry tomatoes, spring rolls. She must have known you were going to mooch off of me. Oh, hush, just dig in already. All right. Are you sure you don't want me to divide it up first? There's no use pretending that you aren't going to eat half of this. Don't worry about me, it's your lunch. You get first go at it. All right then. Surprised by Chris's unusually generous offer, I grabbed the plastic fork from my lunchbox and started eating. This is good. It's weird though, the chicken in particular tastes different than how Mom usually makes it. Does it taste bad? No, I'm not saying that. If anything, it tastes better than usual. Really? You don't say. Chris began to rub the back of her head with her hand as her face turned red. Blushing, I watched Chris's reaction, looked down at the food, and then looked at Chris once more. At that moment, something clicked. Wait a minute, you made this. That's right. Amazing, aren't I? Doesn't this make you see me in a whole new light? I wasn't going to go that far. Though it does raise the question of just how long you were at my house before I woke up. Who cares? It tastes good, and that's all that matters. Well, I can't disagree with that. I am surprised though, I never expected such a feminine talent to emerge from someone like you. Comments like that are why I've never cooked for you before. Be nice or this would both be the first and the last time. Yeah, message received. Once school finally came to an end, Chris and I quickly left the building and headed on our way. The day had been long and hard, and after spending so much time at home doing nothing, being at school all day was a real chore. But now that school was out for the day, we were free at last. We could spend the rest of our day however we wanted, and in my mind, that meant doing anything other than homework. I can't believe I made it. Forget about being an honor student, my grades can go down the toilet for all I care. Whoa, it's the first day back and you've already returned to your usual self? Not that I'm complaining, I'd be trouble if you went to a good college and I didn't. Forget college. I think you had the right idea earlier about figuring out what kind of job I want when I leave school. You're actually taking my advice? Hey, when you're right, you're right. Academics aren't for me, so the responsible thing to do would be to find a good job that doesn't require a lot of brains, right? Absolutely! I couldn't have said it better myself. So what are you going to do first? Browse some job sites and see what pops up? Look at unemployment statistics and see what kind of jobs are in demand? Ugh, my voice is cracking now just trying to do anything. Take a drink of water. Burke, right. Even if I'm not going for an academic job, there's still homework to be done. Why does life have to be so hard? Life is easy, you just aren't trying hard enough. Is that right? Alright then, how would you proceed? Exactly as I suggested. I'd see what jobs are in demand, and browse job listings in those kinds of fields. So it helps if you already have something in mind, even a vague idea would be good. Like working on video games? Are you going to take this seriously or not? I am being serious. What's wrong with wanting to make games? Nothing is wrong with that fact, or with that, I just don't see it happening. The whole reason we're having this discussion is because you can't be bothered studying or concentrating on something, right? Why do you think making video games would be any different? Well, because I like video games and I play them all the time. But do you know how to write code, or make music, or draw with specialized software? Could you see yourself drawing up player maps? How about making animations, or writing character dialogue? I'm sorry to trample all over your idea, Kai, but making games is as simple or as straightforward as you seem to think. Feels like a hidden message from the developers here. Simple games can be made without too much difficulty, but the kinds of games you play, they take years to make and cost millions of dollars to produce. Just liking video games isn't enough. You need serious drive if you want to do something like that for a living. I see. I stared at Chris in shock for a moment as she surprised me with the depth of her knowledge, the serious tone of her voice. Chris, when did you become such an expert on the subject? Did you look into making games for a living too? Haha, you got me there. I had the same thought as you, but when I went online to do some research, my hopes were thoroughly crushed. I guess it'll be something physical for me too. Yeah, I'll see you in the coal mines. On that depressing note, Chris and I reached our houses. Bidding Chris goodbye, I walked in through the front door of my house. The moment I did, my mother came out of the kitchen to greet me. Hey Mom. Hey Mom. Good afternoon, you two. Have fun at school? What kind of joke is that? You know that I... Wait, a minute? What do you mean you two? Oh, Kai, don't be silly. Yeah, Kai, listen to your mother. I turned around to find Chris standing right behind me. Chris, what are you doing here? You live next door, remember? How silly, silly, silly boy. Indeed, what a silly child. Stop calling me that. If you're going to insult me, at least add in a little bit of variety. Oh my, Kai. Oh my, Kai got angry. He did. You two. You know what? I don't care. I'm going to my room. Oh honey, don't be like that. Yeah, Kai, we're just teasing. Fine. Can I at least get a sensible answer then? Why are you both acting as though Chris lives here? A little bit of practice is okay, isn't it? I'm sure you'll be living together soon enough. Mom's really pushing the narrative. Oh, Mother, you are the worst. More jokes, huh? I figured as much. I'll be down when dinner's ready. Later. Wait a minute, Kai. You haven't seriously forgotten, have you? I told you several times now. Chris will be staying with us for the week. Forcing the narrative even more. You will? Yep, my parents are overseas for work, so I'm staying here until they return. Oh, right. So that's why you were here this morning. That's right. I'll be imposing on you for the week, so take good care of me. Chris lowered her head for a moment as though she was formally requesting something of me. Sure, likewise. But wait a second, why are you staying here exactly? You're an adult now, can't you stay at your house by yourself? You don't want me here? No, Oh, my voice. I'm gonna throw my voice out. If you don't want me staying here, then speak up, Kai. I'm not saying that. Of course I want you here. I was just wondering why you came here instead of staying at home alone. Kai, show some consideration for our guest. Would you really send a young girl out into the cold all on her own to become a victim of this harsh, unforgiving city? I don't even know where to begin correcting you. Forget it. I don't care anymore. Ignoring the fact that Chris completely dodged my question, I give and turned away. I then headed upstairs to my bedroom, leaving Chris and my mother to chat amongst themselves. After putting my backpack down and flopping down on my bed, I gazed up at the ceiling for a moment and immersed myself in thought. Chris is going to be staying here this week, huh? It's true that we have a spare bedrooms, and our families have known each other for a long time. Even so, are Chris's parents really okay with her sleeping under the same roof as a teenage boy? I closed my eyes and rolled onto my sides. That thought entered my mind. What am I worrying about? It's just Chris we're talking about here. We're best friends. Our relationship isn't like that. And even if it was, I would never make a move on her if she didn't want me to. Our parents must surely know that. What the hell's wrong with me? Chris is just one of the guys. Hell, she's more masculine than I am. So why am I thinking about her like this? I thought back to earlier in the day when Chris hugged my arm. It was only momentarily, but I did feel Chris's chest pressed against me. Even now, the memory of that brief moment was vivid in my mind. How pathetic. All she did was hug me, and suddenly I'm thinking about Chris like she's Sophie. My eyes shot open as Sophie came to mind. I didn't realize it at the time, but I barely even looked at Sophie today. I've not seen her smiling face for so long, I passed up the opportunity to sneak glances at her all day. I didn't even try to talk to her after our initial interaction, and I forgot all about her touching my shoulder. From the moment I woke up this morning, the one person who'd been not only on my mind, but also right beside me, was Chris. This isn't good. I think I might be starting to see Chris as more than just a friend. Were my feelings for Sophie really that shallow? And what would Chris think if I told her about all of this? Would she laugh at me, be creeped out, start avoiding me, or maybe she'd just act like normal and forget it ever happened? Chris and my mother joke about it all the time, so she'd probably think I was just teasing her. Or if I told Chris in all seriousness, how would she react? This guy waffles so fast. I got off the bed and opened my clothes drawer. From there, I grabbed a change of clothes, then stared at them absent-mindedly for a moment without moving. Whatever the case, I absolutely cannot let Chris find out, not as long as she's staying under this roof. If I told her how I felt now, or living in the same house, then no matter how she took the news, things would get complicated. I shook my head and turned around, walking towards the shower. Forget it. I'm probably just overthinking this whole thing and mistaking friendship for love anyway. There's no way I could really fall for my best friend. Clean and freshly changed, I returned downstairs after taking a shower. Chris and my mother were both still hanging around the kitchen when I entered, chatting amongst themselves. Once I appeared, they cut their conversation short and looked over at me, at which point Chris immediately began to smirk. Ooh, so this is what Kai looks like when he's just gotten out of the shower. His skin is all pink and puffy. Admire the sight while you can. It's not something you get to see very often. Hey, what's that supposed to mean? I bathe every day. Splashing water under your armpits isn't really bathing. Why? I knew you were slack, but that's just... Don't take her word for it. Honestly, you two, every chance you get, you antagonize me. Of course, teasing one's children is the greatest pleasure of being a parent. It's a show of affection. Yeah, right. Anyway, the shower's free now for whoever wants it next. You're going to bathe here, Chris? I didn't see you bring any clothes with you, so I figured you were going home to bathe. I'm not sure. Your mother said I could borrow some of your clothes, so I was thinking that I'd shower here and just wear those. I shot my mother a bemused glare. First she invited Chris to stay here without consulting me, then she gave her my breakfast, and now she's lending Chris my clothes? Do I even get a say in any of this? Why not? You're about the same size anyway, so save yourself a trip home. It's alright with you, isn't it, Kai? My mother responded with an innocent smile and passed responsibility for the decision to me. Yeah, sure. Chris can borrow my clothes. You don't mind? I only live next door. I can quickly go over and grab something to get changed into. No, it's fine. Really? You're okay with it? You won't get some kind of perverse thrill from seeing a girl wearing your clothes, will you? Not if she's as masculine as you. Oof, how harsh. Even if you're joking, there are some things you shouldn't say to a girl, you know? While wearing a hurt look on her face, Chris walked past me and headed towards the bathroom. Well, whatever. See what you want now. It'll all come back around to bite you in the end. By the time this week is over, there's no way you'll be able to think of me as a guy anymore. Foreshadowing. Leaving behind those foreboding words, I guess they mentioned it too. Chris started walking upstairs and entered the bathroom. Little did she know that as I watched her skirt sway behind her, Chris was already well on the way to becoming a woman in my eyes. It's a lot of talking, but we're going to go ahead and call the first episode here since it's the end of the first day. Like I said, a lot of setup here. We haven't actually made any choices. There are 5 different endings to this game from what I've read, so there are branching choices coming up. I think we'll see a few of them in the next episode, but I also point out in the next episode, since I've played through this part already and I've played through what's going to be next episode as well, it does get a bit more racy, and by a bit more racy, it goes from what we had right now to just flat out just going for it. Like, it goes for it. I don't want to say exactly how it goes for it, but yeah, you'll have to tune in next time to see. It's called a teaser. But thank you for watching this. If you enjoyed it, please go ahead and leave a like, share the video, or subscribe to the channel. I think this is going to probably be 4 or 5 episodes. I'm obviously going to play through... I think we're going to pursue Chris the first time here. Then we'll play back through skipping everything that we've already seen, and then go the Sophie route. Sophie and Chris are out, the 2 obvious choices. I don't know if there's a special both girl ending. Sometimes that's in these kinds of games, sometimes it's not. I'll find out. And then there's the bad ending for pursuing like each and not working or something like that. But we'll see. Leave comments if you hate this content or you think I'm stupid for doing it, or any comments you would like. But I really hope you enjoyed it. And as always, please have a great day.